When it seems like all hope is lost, there's always a rainbow signaling a ray of hope. And so it is with the banana sector. After acres of crop destroyed, hundreds of jobs lost, and many other challenges, today banana is standing tall again and producing returns. We journey back in time to 1951, the start of many woes, then onto the road to recovery. It's all coming up in today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. Hello, I'm Adrian Atkinson. There's more, so please stay with us.
Did you know that since we started our Ease Up on the Energy campaign, that electricity use in government buildings has dropped by around 4,200 kilowatt hours per building per month? We retrofitted and replaced old, inefficient air conditioning units with new energy-efficient models. That saved approximately $123 million for the government of Jamaica. What are you waiting for? I'm Hilary Alexander, asking all Jamaicans to join us and ease up on the energy. Ease up on the energy. Ease up on the energy.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, April 19. The Supreme Court is now operating with 2 additional courtrooms. The Ministry of Justice spent approximately $35 million on the courtrooms and the restoration of 2 elevators which were commissioned into service yesterday.
And I encourage the users of the courtrooms and the administrators of the courts to see this as an investment that must be protected, and that the necessary maintenance programs be put in place to ensure the investment that has been made on behalf of the Jamaican people, that they're maintained at an extremely high standard.
This handover came a day after the ministry signed an $846 million contract to expand the Court of Appeal and the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information is collaborating with the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, to stage an inaugural anti-gang week to steer youth away from criminal activities. It is part of a special partnership between the Ministry and JCF's Counterterrorism and Organized Crime Investigation Branch, CTOC. Details of this initiative and other areas of collaboration were discussed at a high-level strategy meeting involving Minister Ruel Reid and the head of CTOC, ACP Fitz Bailey. That meeting was held at the Education Ministry on Monday. ACP Bailey says the Anti-Gang Week will be observed in May, but the date is not yet finalized. During the week, activities will be staged to promote diversion from gangs, targeting students as well as at-risk youth outside of the school system. Government is seeking to expand the reach of its Housing Opportunity, Production and Employment HOPE program by increasing partnerships with private sector organizations. National Coordinator Lieutenant Colonel Martin Rickman says there is a desire to reach a larger number of unattached youth in the short term to minimize any likelihood of their involvement in illicit activities.
And there are many who have started to lean forward to fund the stipends for many of the youth that were starting to engage. And I will appeal to more foundations, more organizations to look at the opportunities that exist where that is concerned, because we have to look at this as an investment into the future.
Lieutenant Colonel Rickman was speaking at a JIS think tank on Wednesday. Launched in 2017, HOPE currently engages over 2,500 unattached youth in apprenticeship and training for a 1-year period. The first batch of participants should be certified and participate in a graduation exercise by mid-year. The Scientific Research Council, SRC, is encouraging small and medium manufacturers of food products to utilize its standardization services. Food Product Development Team Leader Valmo Winter says the SRC standards allow for consistent quality of the product, proper costing, and accuracy of shelf life.
We are here to assist them in getting it right. Because if you do not get it right, what will happen is that you come into the market and before you know it, the business closes.
Meanwhile, the manager of Product Research and Development, Chara Watson, says the SRC also stands ready to offer support in the research and development of products and services from idea to market.
We walk you through the process in terms of identifying where your potential entry point could be or what product you could potentially develop. And we go through the full gamut of activities and get you from that concept all the way to a product that is ready for market. We also are able to help you to enter the market through providing pilot manufacturing facilities.
The SRC team was speaking at a recent JIS think tank. And finally, the Alexandria Community Hospital in St. Ann has become Jamaica's second medical institution to be accredited as a baby-friendly hospital. The first was the Princess Margaret Hospital. The Alexandria Community Hospital received its accreditation from the United Nations Children Fund, UNICEF, on April 12. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says this designation makes the hospital global in its scope and potential to support public health. He has committed to having at least 9 more facilities accredited as baby-friendly hospitals by the end of the financial year. The Baby Friendly Hospital Initiative was launched in 1991 as a global campaign to prepare health systems and mobilize healthcare workers to protect, promote, and support breastfeeding. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
This is the Aedes aegypti mosquito that spreads the Zika, chikungunya, and dengue viruses. Search for its breeding sites and destroy them. A message from the Ministry of Health.
The Banana Board has been putting measures in place to support the sustainability of this crop as a viable source of income for local farmers. We highlight how the sector has bounced back from the impact of disease and several hurricanes to making strides on the export market with the Global Gap certified farmers.
As early as the 1800s, Jamaica enjoyed a robust banana industry, and by 1866, the country began its export trade of the fruit. It was one of the top export produce and drivers of foreign exchange for the country. For years, the country and farmers alike enjoyed the success which saw up to 70,000 tons of banana being exported in 1993. But in the midst of this achievement were great challenges. The sector grappled with varying diseases and frequent storms and hurricanes like Gilbert in 1988 and Charlie in 1951. The banana industry also had to face trade liberalization, falling prices, and low competitiveness. This triggered a gradual decrease in export. The final blow to the banana industry and to the livelihoods of many farmers was the passing of Hurricane Dean and Tropical Storm Gustav in 2007 and 2008. During this time, export fell to its lowest level. Some 800 jobs were lost, with the closure of an estate in St. Thomas by a major stakeholder. Eventually in 2008, the export of bananas stopped. With the support of the European Union, a long-standing partner, which provided funding, the government of Jamaica implemented programs to revive the banana sector. Between 2009 and 2011, priority was given to strengthening the technical and administrative support teams of the Banana Board. And it was during this period that the EU Banana Support Program was established. Funding to support the undertakings amounted to over 116 million Jamaican dollars by the government, as well as over 677,000 euros by the EU. This strategic approach to revitalize the banana industry would see production picking up and the resumption of export in 2011.
The EU has been a great partner. In fact, it's our largest partner in the government and certainly in the agriculture sector in terms of grant resources. And those resources have helped to support in a very significant way.
European Union has been supporting the banana sector since 1996, so it's not something new, and that commitment is very strong. We recognize the importance of bananas to Jamaican people and Jamaican culture. Unfortunately, the blow to the exports in 2008 has been quite difficult to recover from. So today we are trying to support the Banana Board and the Growers Association and the small producers in order to improve their competitiveness, but also to assist them with technical expertise, to look at a variety of different types of bananas and plantains.
Over the years, the help is more than 40 billion Jamaican dollars. We have benefited tremendously as recovery from risk management, from hurricanes. They provided tremendous help to recover each time when there's a disaster.
The revitalization of the industry saw the implementation of the Jamaica Banana Accompanying Measures JBAM program in 2012. Approximately 1,400 farmers in banana-producing parishes of St. Catherine, St. Thomas, Portland, St. Mary and St. James are targeted under the program. They are introduced to new varieties of the crop, notably the Fia. This type gives 30 to 50% more yield and is good for cooking and producing chips. As the focal point with all Jamaica's international development partners, the PIOJ works with the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA, to ensure that the funds provided by the EU support the country's long-term development goals.
What that means is that RADA now provides that technical support. It provides administrative support to the program to ensure that the funds received from the EU are actually spent on time, effectively, and actually do what they are actually designated to be doing. And so far, the project has actually achieved a lot on the ground.
Among the outcomes of the Jamaica Banana Accompanying Measures program are improvements to the Banana Board's laboratories. The research and development labs were outfitted with the latest equipment to carry out testing on disease samples and develop pesticides. The Banana Board is now able to produce a variety of plantlets from their new tissue culture biofactory. The projection is for the board to produce 120,000 tissue culture plantlets, that is to be supplied to participating farmers of the JBAM program per year. The calculated intervention by both the government of Jamaica and the European Union also allowed for the continued operations of the banana breeding station at Bodles in Old Harbour in St. Catherine. The Banana Board currently maintains over 150 varieties of disease-resistant banana plants. Also, JBAM supports the Growers Association through the construction of a $30 million processing plant. This will allow players in the industry to move up the value chain and benefit from the production of banana and plantain chips.
And in the future, they can look at other banana products. So we are actually empowering the growers to be involved further along the value chain, which will provide more profit, more income to the Growers Association.
Farmers also benefit from farm supplies at reasonable rates from stores operated by the All Island Banana Growers Association.
The other thing is the availability. Because of our cash resource, thanks to the EU, we are now in a better position to improve on our inventory. So the availability of input material that is readily available to all farmers. Thirdly, from the assistance given to us, we were able to implement credit programs, which our farmers could get assistance to resuscitate their farms and so forth.
The impact of the JBAM program is far-reaching. Not only are the farmers empowered to produce, but they are able to employ workers, thus spreading the financial gains across rural communities. Another advantage to the farmers is that they get the opportunity to acquire the Global Good Agricultural Practices certification. With this international standard, they are able to trade in the export market. The certification exercise is administered under the sub-program of JBAM, called the Banana Export Expansion Program, BEEP. Its main objectives are to increase banana production with international standards, develop the technical and infrastructural support of the industry, and preserve the industry's competitiveness in both the export and domestic markets.
Well, the assistance that I have gotten is tremendous. We have a huge storeroom that we have compartmentalized to facilitate smooth operation and to prevent contamination and to make us more efficient. By ourselves, we would not have been able to.
I've also received over $1.25 million in grant from this program, this B program, and this grant was used as infrastructural development. My farm is now certified as an export farm, so I'm now able to export my own fruit to various overseas countries.
The Banana Board has seen a steady increase in the export of banana and wants to take it further.
Our aim is to increase the overall production by 30%. Last year, we actually did 26%, so we are well on our way.
Export markets currently include the Cayman Islands, Canada, the United States, and the United Kingdom. Looking to the future,
the nature of EU's partnership with Jamaica will mean that we will continue supporting the government and civil society organizations in trying to improve people's lives, and that will be very much also relevant to the agricultural area.
The ministry has been guiding the agricultural sector in terms of growth. We are very proud that the sector has been growing and supporting the Jamaican economy. So our vision is to put the sector in a position through expansion of irrigation, through making available lands with requisite infrastructure, to be able to produce consistently, to tap into a huge tourist market, for export, for import substitution, and in the final analysis that our rural spaces and our rural communities are strong because they depend on agriculture. That's our vision.
Nobody want to plant the corn. Everybody want to read the band. Who you are go blame it on when it's a next man you are deep in pan. Well, you're wrong.
Farmers, let us be serious about predial larceny. It is affecting all of us. If you are aware of incidents of predial larceny, make contact with your local police station or call Crime Stop at 311. Predial larceny is everybody's business.
No mind if me stall. Them no business if me back against the wall. This a living sometime making me ball. Seems like there ain't no love.
Nutritious food, succulent dishes, superior workmanship, and excellent service. Jamaica is on the go. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Let's harness the indomitable spirit of our most valued resource, our people. Let's support our local businesses. After all, buying Jamaican means building Jamaica.
Export Jamaica got off to a start today, but the unveiling of the best of Jamaican products and services is tomorrow and continues into the weekend. So go out and support our local manufacturers and, by extension, the Buy Jamaican, Build Jamaica campaign.
The 2016 staging of Expo Jamaica was big. And this year promises to be even bigger. Over 350 manufacturers will display their products and services at the largest trade show of its kind in the Caribbean. Expo Jamaica 2018 will be held on April 19 to 22 at the National Arena and the National Indoor Sports Complex. The event will showcase the best of what the country has to offer, while expanding visibility and product distribution to local markets and those in the region and the world. It will be all things Jamaican, ranging from spices to agro-processing, baked products, pharmaceuticals, clothing, bedding, hotel accommodation, and so much more. The expo provides the perfect marketplace for hundreds of new and repeat buyers to meet with local suppliers. A welcome engagement by manufacturers of past events.
It's helped because we've been able to connect with a few buyers from around the Caribbean and, you know, allowed avenues of distributions.
We got a lot of overseas inquiries, and we hope that we can actually turn these into something.
It has been really good, the feedback from the customers. They love the products and they would like to see us outside of these settings. Some people were interested in ordering uniforms for their schools.
It has done very good for me because already I've received comments from people, I've gotten persons who wants to buy.
Those were 2016's happy businesses. In all, 20 trade leads from that event were converted into business deals.
It's been a lot of good exposure for us.
I've met so many people who are in the same areas as we are that coordinate cohesively with all the products that we do.
The uptake from the market, the interest has also been phenomenal. So we're expecting a lot of demand for Spanish grain and Victoria Farms products through the supermarkets and distribution centers island-wide.
A new batch of exhibitors have that same opportunity this year.
You know, some businesses, their business model relies on the expo. Their business model expects them to come to expo and they get business for the next 2 years. So it's critical for certain sectors.
Expo Jamaica is an every 2-year event with the broad vision of establishing the country as a manufacturing destination.
I think that expo can more embody the true spirit of manufacturing. You know, Jamaica is not known widely for its manufacturing, and I think it's important that people start to see this as that, the showcase of real manufacturing in Jamaica, because we do have some great products on display here.
Now running for 46 years, the event is hosted by the Jamaica Manufacturers Association, the Jamaica Exporters Association, and JAMPRO.
Every year we see the expo growing and we see more and more companies coming on board, and I think it's a very positive thing for Jamaica.
If you have a small business, medium or whatever, this is the place.
Expo Jamaica 2018 is open to the public from April 20 to 22 at the National Arena and the National Indoor Sports Complex. Admission for persons 12 years and older is $800. Those 2 to 11 years will pay $200, and the little ones under 2 years can enter free of cost.
We want a productive Jamaica. We all are productive Jamaicans. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity is the way to go for all us Jamaicans. Small business, big business, old and young, we are tell every woman and man. We want growth and prosperity for a better nation with a building plan. So we can build our product and sell our product and put more money in our hand. Our economy can rise to a level and build a better nation. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity.
Productivity, pathway to prosperity. A message brought to you by the Jamaica Productivity Center, a department of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
We've come to the end of our show, but certainly not the end of our connection. Just click on our website, jis.gov.jm. And while you're online, send your feedback to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm or via tweet at JIS News. Do join us again tomorrow for another informative program. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.